Hey everyone, welcome to Heart for Art. My name is Layla. Today is a two-part tutorial. I will be creating a picture frame to use on a large ornament that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. It's a wall hanging ornament, and I'm really excited about how this one turned out. So with that being said, and with all the excitement that I have, let's go ahead and get crafting. This is a picture frame that I purchased from Dollar Tree years ago when it was actually only $1, so that's how long I've had it for. I removed the backing, I removed the glass from it, and I painted it in just plain acrylic white chalk paint, and I've had it sitting in my stash for a long time. I didn't do anything with it. And right here I'm using some silicone molds that I purchased from Amazon. It's kind of like a fleur-de-lis, flourish kind of designs on them. And I'm just using DOS air dry clay with some cornstarch. And I'm going to be creating all the molds together and then securing them with some Aleene's tacky glue. And I will be doing it to all four corners. Once all four corners have been done, I'm going to go ahead and take my Prima, I think it's called a cherry blossom mold that I purchased from Amazon, with some DOS air dry clay, and I'll be creating a little border on the very top only with some stems and buds and some flowers. Once I'm done with that, I will go ahead and use another bird mold that I purchased from, I want to say Amazon as well, and I'll just be including, I think, 3 birds, 2 on the top and 1 on the side. But once I'm done doing all the molds, I will go ahead and adhere it the same way with my tacky glue. Sorry guys, before I do the bird mold, I will be using this bow mold that I purchased from Hobby Lobby in their baking section where all the silicone molds sit, and it has a ton of different sizes of bows. So I'll be using kind of the small bow and adding them to all 4 corners, and here's where I'm using the bird mold. This is the image that I created on AI. It's basically vintage Santa holding a bouquet of pink poinsettia flowers with a snowy background, and I made it looking very vintagey old, and I really like the way it turned out. Right here I'm going to be painting the picture frame pink, which is a baby pink. I custom made the color, mixing kind of like a magenta pink with white, and I made it really light, and I'm going to be painting the whole entire molds and picture frame with that color. I did let all the molds dry before I'm doing this process. Right here I am going to be Mod Podging that picture onto the backing of the picture frame that it came with. I just painted it white before I'm Mod Podging, so the picture is a little bit more vibrant, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and paint or Mod Podge the whole entire backing. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to iron it on with my X-Tool mini iron press. Once I've pressed it down, I'm going to go ahead and take my sander, and I'm going to sand it downward to take the edge off the extra paper and give it a very clean, finished look. Once I have sanded the edges down, I'm going to go ahead and seal my image using polyacrylic sealer, which is a water-based sealer. You can use any kind of sealer you like, or even Mod Podge for that matter, or a spray sealer. but you have to make sure to seal your image to prevent from further bleeding. I'm doing a dry fit to make sure that the image and the frame fits perfectly, and I'm going to go ahead and start painting the frame with the colors that I want, the reds and the greens. I'm not sure why my frame is coming up really like a bubblegum pink on camera, but it's not that bright pink. It's a pretty pale pink, so I'm not sure what's going on over there. But I'm going to paint the bows, the cardinals, with the red, just regular acrylic paint, and then I'm going to use some greens and stuff just to bring out the molds a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the entire frame with all acrylic paints. Now I'm going to use some dark wax just around the entire frame, and concentrating mainly on the molds for it to settle kind of in the crevices and give it a really pretty look. And I'm taking some dry napkin and wiping it back. It's just going to add to the vintage old world look. And I'm also going to be using some metallic gold just to on the raised areas to highlight and bring out a little bit of the birds and the flowers and all the features of the mold. So in the end, it actually turns out really pretty, and I love the way it looks. These are some white pearls that I antique wax, and guys, I'm so sorry, I completely forgot to record it, but it's basically, I took all the beads, I put some antique wax in there, and I added the strand of white pearls in there and kind of shushed them around, took them out, and then just wiped all the excess off, and it kind of gives like a really pretty, almost like a cat eye look to it, and I really like it. I mean, including it on the inside of the frame because there is a gap that we can see between the frame and the picture, so this kind of takes care of that little issue without me adding too much to it. Now on to part 2 of this DIY. This is a ornament, I think it's a wall hanging ornament that I purchased from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago. I purchased it at 90% off. I have, I think, 3 or 4 left that I still need to use. And this is a custom paint that I mixed. It's basically kind of like a bubblegum pink, and it's really pretty. I love this color. Cannot tell you how I made it. I just mixed up a bunch of pinks together and I got this color. So I'm going to paint the entire piece in this pink. Look at how pretty it is. And then I'm going to go ahead, I did the front and the back, and I'm going to go ahead and seal the entire thing again with the polyacrylic sealer. You guys can use Mod Podge or spray sealer, it does not matter. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure, dry fit everything. And look how pretty that looks with that. It looks so pretty. I love this project. I'm going to go ahead and mark where I need to decoupage the paper down. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil, put some mark lines, because sometimes eyeballing doesn't cut it out. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark the spot and put my Mod Podge down. I believe I let it dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the iron-on method because I found out that it's much better. Actually, no, this one I do not do the iron-down method because it has the backing, so my bad. This one I just laid it down straight onto the Mod Podge, and then I let it dry, and I will go ahead and glue the frame over it. Once the frame dried, I'm going to go ahead and frame it around only the 3 corners, not the very top, with this lace that I purchased from Hobby Lobby during my paper crafting era when I was making cards and journals and stuff like that. So I've had it for a while now. Guys, I'm trying to go through my stash. I have a lot of things that I need to use up. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a slit at the corner so it can bend neater instead of that little bulge that it creates. I'm going to go ahead and use my alien tacky glue and glue the entire thing around the 3 corners minus the top. Once I'm done with the lace, I'm going to go ahead and take this beaded trim that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I'm not sure if they still carry it or not. I've had it in my stash for quite a while, so I'm using everything up. I go ahead and do the same, apply the same method. I glue it with my alien tacky glue all the way around, minus the top. So I used the tiny ivory beads on a string this is also from Hobby Lobby, and I just lined the inside of the frame to make it look more finished and more put together. So I just lined the inside, and I really like the way it looks now. On the negative space, I'm going to go ahead and add these snowflakes. I have no idea where I got them from, but I did not want to add more images, so I just added the snowflakes to add to the background of the image, which is the snowy background. I just went ahead and glued them down with my Alien's tacky glue to make it look a little bit more authentic as a ornament. For the top part, I'm going to go ahead and take one of these, I don't know what you call them, these aluminum, you use for food and everything. I took the rigid part of it, I cut it out and measured, and I glued it down again with my glue and with, I think it was hot glue gun. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take my metallic gold paint, and I'm going to paint the entire thing. Since it's a gold theme, the silver just did not look good with it. So I just gave it a quick, I think 2 coats, and then the third one was dabbing it up and down to give it a little bit of texture. While the aluminum piece is drying, I'm going to go ahead and paint the handle part of it with the same gold so it all looks cohesive. I'm just going to paint it, I think 2 or 3 coats of paint, and again the last one I'm going to just dab it up and down to give it a bit of a texture. Once I was done gluing the metal piece down, the snowflakes looked really plain for me, and they had a little bit of a hole for the ornament hanging part. So I went ahead and used these diamond dots that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance, and it's kind of like a tan iridescent color, and I just filled all the little tips of the snowflakes, and on the inside of the larger hole I used pearls, the white pearls, half pearls, and covered them up. So I just did it for all of the snowflakes. Once everything dried up, the edges of the ornament was looking really plain. So I went ahead and lined it up with the metallic gold paint that I've been using throughout this whole entire project, and I just did the edges as well to kind of give it a really pretty outline, and I smudged the edges right there to give it a distressed look. Alright guys, now for the top, you can see I already made the bow. It was a serious battle. I didn't film it because I did not know what kind of bow I wanted. I added some reds, I added some greens and pinks, and it was just a world war going on over here with the bow. So I just decided to go off camera, decide what I wanted, and I settled with this really champagne gold and velvety green color. And I ended up really liking it better than the one I originally made that I filmed, but I deleted it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some small little pieces of greenery here and there. And in the center, I thought about adding a bell. But I decided to go with 3 pine cones. It just looked better. I just like the look much better. So that's the end result of how it looks with my Battle of the Bow and my pine cone and greenery. just to add some pizzazz and make my ornament look unique, I'm going to add this tassel that I made with some macrame thread, the macrame bead from Dollar Tree, and some regular wooden beads that I had in my stash. And since the the wood was naked, I went ahead and stained it kind of with the golden acrylic paint with a baby wipe. I just did all the beads and the ring. Once everything is dry and good to go, I'm going to go ahead and glue it with my hot glue gun to the tip of the ornament, and I will add a piece of ribbon just to secure it a little bit more on the back side. And this concludes my huge wall hanging ornament, and I hope you guys enjoyed my two-part series of my Christmas ornament. I know this was a little bit of a longer video because I had two different DIYs in one, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did making it for you guys. Please, if you like this video, subscribe and go ahead and like the video. Leave a comment letting me know if you guys like it or not. And I will see you guys in my next one, and keep on crafting.